For those of you who don't know, my name is Mark Sparks. I've heard a lot of nice things said about me, so it's always weird to talk about myself. But basically, what I've been doing for the last little bit is working on perfecting my company, which is Sparks Conditioning. Sparks Conditioning stands for speed, power, adaptability, refinement, kinesiology, and satisfaction. What I really found in the fitness industry was that a lot of people were only focused on getting you in the gym, beating you up, and then sending you home, and not giving you any sort of plan that would help you to get past all the hurdles and the challenges that you're always going to come up on when you're doing your workouts and when you have goals to come up to. One of the things I always talk about is the 3 Ps and the importance of the 3 Ps. The 3 Ps are passion, preparation, and perseverance. When I broke my leg and I got a chance to work with somebody, they talked to me a lot about being aware of what's going on around you. Sherry was so awesome for you guys who were here. She was talking a lot about awareness, a lot about opening your mind up to things, a lot about seeing what you want to see and the potential that you want to see, as opposed to seeing the things that don't exist or that you make exist because you see them. A lot of times we're not aware of what's going on. We're not aware of a lot of things. One of them is our goals. When you're going to the gym, for instance, if you have no goal, you're not aware of something, you're just there. You know, if you have no awareness of what you're eating, a lot of people say to me, oh, I eat great. And then I say, okay, we'll do a food journal for a week. Let's see what you're eating. Or if I ask you right now, hey, how many calories do you eat in a week? Are you at all? And that's most people, right? Like how much protein do you get in your diet? How much fat do you get in your diet? But yet we want a goal of some sort and we have no idea where we're starting from. So awareness is an amazing thing, both in just a plain physical realm, but also in our brain, like being aware of how powerful we can be when we start to open up our thinking. I always talk about FFI with my clients, anybody I coach, whether on the phone, internet, or live, and it's focus, frequency, and intensity. What are you focused on? How frequently you're going to do it, and how intense are you going to push yourself? One of the things we always hear is trying and doing. You know, a lot of times people come up and say, well, what are you doing in the gym? Well, I'm trying to da-da-da-da-da-da. What are you doing here? Well, I'm trying to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's a concept that I don't believe in. And I get a lot of flack, and I'm like, you can't try to do something. You either do it or you don't do it. What trying becomes is a way for us to get out of doing what we want to do. And anytime we say we're trying something, it's a back door, because if I don't make it, well, I tried. You know, and I always say trying is undertaking a task with the intent to fail. Another thing I always hear people say is I should do. How many of us know that we should eat well? But a lot of us know we should do a lot of things. How many times do we do what we should in a day? When you set up in the day and you say, well, I should get this done, and I should get this done, and I know I should do this and this. How many times at the end of the day do you find yourself missing a lot of things on your should list? I heard someone say this once. It's like when you should all the time, you end up shitting all over yourself. And it's like either things have to be a will or even more a must. Anything that you must do, anything that you will do, you get done. When I get up in the morning and say, I must brush my teeth, I don't walk by the bathroom and look at my toothbrush and go, oh, well, I don't have time, I gotta go. It doesn't matter how late I am, how early I am, my teeth get brushed. And a lot of times when I say this to someone to the gym, about the gym or their workouts, it's like you must get your workout. You must do it 5 days a week. And you must push yourself to a level that's past comfortable. And that's another thing to talk to people about is be happy with where you're at, be cool with where you're at, and know where you're going. A lot of times we look at something and we say, oh, I'm 20 pounds overweight. I'm 20 pounds underweight. I can't lift this. I can't do this. I can't run here. I can't do this. So if I start my day with that, if I start and build that mountain, how likely am I going to be to want to climb it? Whereas when we start to look at it and say, well, you know what? I'm here. And I'm here because of all the decisions that I've made. And I'm here because of all the habits that I've formed. This is where I'm starting. That's where I'm going. That doesn't matter anymore. And when we start to understand that, you know, it's hard to climb a mountain. It's easy to take a step. 3 Ps, passion, your plan, and your perseverance. Or passion, preparation, perseverance. I kind of use them interchangeably. Your passion is your why. It never matters what you want to do. Never, ever matters what you want to do in the gym. Whether someone comes in and says to me, I'm an Olympic level skier and I want to get better and knock down, you know, a couple seconds off my slalom time, or someone comes in and says, I can't do a push-up. I'm not concerned with what they want to do because their passion has to be the same. Why do you want it? It's always going to come down to why. Why? If you don't have a big enough why as to anything you're doing, you're not going to do it. Nothing's going to become a must if you don't have a big enough why. When you come into a situation, you have a goal. So we'll call getting your result is whatever your goal is, whatever that may be. The first thing you're asking yourself is, what do I want? Exactly. What do I want? Someone comes to me and goes, you're a trainer. I want you to help me lose some weight. Okay, here's a pound. Get out of my face. And I don't mean that to be mean, but it's like, I want you to help me run. I put them on a treadmill. They jog for a second. I'm like, awesome. High five. You did it. We'll see you later. But that's not what I want. Okay, well then, what do you want? So the biggest thing is starting with a point where you say, I want this exactly, and I like to tell people to do it. This is exactly what I want. This is exactly when I want it by, and bigger, this is exactly why I want it. Once we get those three things down pat, when you have a yes, as you'll see with the elevator, you move to the next step on the elevator, is why do you want it? And again, because you have to really reiterate that in your mind. Why do you want this? Why must you have this? I want to lose 20 pounds because, I know I should. I've got to lose 20 pounds because my son is growing up and he needs me to be able to run around with him because he loves to play soccer with me and I can't keep up with him. I can't with this extra 20 pounds on me. I must lose this because if I don't, I'm going to have to watch my son play with somebody else and he loves to play with me and that's the time we spend together. Which one of those is more powerful? Right? So one of those is going to take you to where you want to go and the other one is going to kind of be like, well, if it happens, that's cool. You keep going up the elevator and it's a big question that a lot of people miss is how will you know you got what you want? So we call that being able to manage and measure what you're doing. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And if you can't manage it, you can't make it happen. So you say to yourself, how will I know I got this? Okay, well, I want this. This is why I want it. And I must have it. And this is how I'll know. Okay, so I'll go back to that same example. How will you know you got it? Man, I can't believe it, Mark. We've been working together for a year, and I went to my son's soccer practice, and you know what? I'm the assistant coach now. And I got to run up and down with them, and it was so amazing because all the other parents were sitting on the side, and I had like 3 hours worth of fun with my son and his friends, and it was amazing. Thank you. How? That's her how. How you know you got it? Because you'll be able to say that. And hows need to be bigger than, a lot of times people go to the gym and make it about weight. Well, I lost 10 pounds. That's it. That's never going to be big enough to drive you. So you want to have that how being something bigger than a scale. I want this dress to fit me because it reminds me of a time when. I want to be able to do because something that invigorates you, gets you all excited, gets you ready to go. That is going to be a great reason, and that's going to be a great how. The next step up the elevator is do you believe you'll get it? Do you believe you will get it? If you can't say yes to that, you got to start again. If you don't believe in whatever it is you're trying to do, I don't care what anyone tells you. I was working with this lady, and a year ago, I said to her, we can't do anything until you believe that you can lose 100 pounds. I can't do anything for you. I can tell you to run, jump, all that. She got to the point where she said to me, you know what? About 3 months in, and all we were doing was stuff, and I'll show you that a little later, practically. 3 months in, she comes to me and she said, I want to thank you. And I said, well, what's about? And she said to me, my whole life, I've been told I was fat. I thought I was a fat child. I thought this was how I had to be. I thought this was all I had. And this was me. This is who I am. No one ever told me that I could be different. No one ever believed in me that I could be different. And your belief in me allowed me to believe in myself. And I said, wow, so what do you believe now? And she said, well, I believe that I can be whatever I want to be. And she came with this number, and she was 37% body fat at this time. And she said, I want to be 21% body fat. And we looked at a picture in a magazine. And this is a woman who just had double hip surgery, who was over 100 pounds overweight at the time. And we looked at this magazine, and I'll tell you, off the first glance, you look at the magazine, I'm like, all right. Okay. And because in my head, I'm like, I'm thinking, man, we're going to have to put on some work. And I looked at her face, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. She looked at this picture, and she was like, yeah, that's it. Dead serious. She believed that she could get it. A year later, she has it. And so when you talk about, do you believe in whatever it is, don't let anybody tell you ever that you can't do whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever it is you're going to do, whatever it is you are doing. And so once you have that belief, and now you guys probably saw the elevator, that's number 5. That's your result. That's it. It's that simple. I say to people, greatness, what you want is simple. It's not easy. It's simple. Do what you got to do to get there. Does that make sense? Last thing there's something here I call it the results continuum. And it's such a big deal that I'm going to speak about it a little bit. There's 4 boxes, and there's arrows that go this way with the boxes. I hope I'm kind of pointing in the right way. And then there's arrows that go this way with the boxes, and they're red. It starts with your beliefs, potential, your actions, and your results, which again goes to belief, which again goes to potential, which again goes to actions, and which again goes to results. So what does that mean? What I believe about myself and what I believe about the world that I live in and what I believe about my abilities will directly affect my potential, what I am actually able to achieve. What I believe that I can actually achieve will directly affect my actions. And what I believe about what I can actually achieve, doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get a result. And that result is always going to reinforce what you believe. So basic example, I believe that I can drink this bottle of water before the end of the day. So if I believe that, then my potential is to drink this bottle of water at the end of the day because I've set that up as what I believe in my mind. So throughout the day, what am I probably going to do? Drink water. Take sips of this water. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to have a result, which is going to be what? An empty bottle of water. And I'm going to go, hey, look at that. I was right. I believe that. And look, it happened. And then my belief is going to do what? Probably grow. So that means tomorrow I feel like I can drink a bottle and a half. And then I'll do that. And then I'll get to the end of the day and I'll have a bottle and a half of empty water. And hey, look, I can drink a bottle and a half. And that's how you end up changing something very big by little. But it also works backwards. And this is where we get caught very easily because we're not aware of it. We're not awake to the fact that this is happening with us. And you talk about, so if I believe that I can't lose any weight, and I believe my potential means I can't lose any weight. So I go to the gym, but I stand on a treadmill and I stand there going, I can't lose any weight, so I don't even know why I'm doing this. This is the dumbest thing ever. And I get off after my half an hour and I go and stand on the scale at the end of the week. What happens? Nothing. So what does that do to my belief? That reinforces it again. See, I told you I can't lose any weight. And eventually when you get that negative spiral for long enough, what do? You just stop doing it because none of us like pain, right? None of us like to go, hey, that hurt. I'm going to do it again. So if something starts to hurt you, if you're not changing it or getting better, you're going to have pain. So this is how important belief is in something as simple as working out. You want to do 10 push-ups? Cool. Believe you can do it. I'll get you there. Guaranteed. So let's get. I just want to talk real quick about nutrition. Most times, you're going to be eating too much or too little of something. Most people don't understand what portion sizes are. So I urge everybody, for a week, write down what you eat and measure it some way of how much you eat it. And write it down and just look at it. Once you do that, then you can make some changes. And little changes will go a big way. People always think, we go to these extreme methods. It's like, oh my gosh, I want to lose weight. I'm not going to eat any carbs. I'm not going to have any fat. Oh, I'm done with this. Okay, I'm going to have hard carbs and fat today. Oh my God, no, I hate this. I don't have any carbs and no fat. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. And we go through this and your body's like, what's happening? And your body goes crazy because it doesn't learn how to manage what you're doing. The same thing I say about crash diets or any of these diets. Oh, I'm just going to drink juice for 4 weeks. What you have to do is teach your body how to eat in a way that you can continually be like for the rest of your life. Because it's better to lose 20 pounds over X amount of time, a long period of time, and keep it off for the rest of your life than it is to lose 5 pounds in 5 days and then put on 10 next week. Because that makes us feel worse. Because what happens when you have a victory and then you have a failure right after? You go, well, I can't even win, and I lose when I win. So why even try winning? So we got to set yourself up. So that's one. So no crash diets. Let's learn how to eat. If you don't know, carbohydrates are worth about 4 calories per gram. Protein is worth about 4 calories per gram. Fat is worth about 9 calories per gram. And alcohol is worth 7. Everyone always forgets about alcohol. It's like, man, I eat great. How much did you drink today? What? Yeah. And it's alcohol is huge. If you think of alcohol being 7 calories, so when you drink a glass of alcohol per ounce, and then you have 2 of those, or 3 of those, or 7 of those, or 10 of those in a week, what is that? That's 350 extra calories a week. And then you had a beer, another 200 calories a week. And then you had but you don't think about them because they're liquid, and you think, oh, write it down. Because when you look at it at the end of the week, you can't lie to yourself. You're not showing it to anybody but you. It doesn't matter. Never look at it. It's not judgments. It's not expectation. It's let's see what it is. Where am I now based on the habits that I've formed, and where do I want to go? And the only way we know that is by taking honest stock and hurting yourself a little bit so that you can have pleasure for a longer time. Fiber is another big one. Always talk about fiber with people, 25 to 35 grams a day. A lot of us don't get enough fiber. Grandmother said if you can chew it, if you have to chew on it, it's probably good. It's full of fiber. Broccolis and all those. If you don't get enough fiber in your vegetables, a great thing to do is psyllium husks, flaxseed, Go to a health food store. Say, hey, I don't get enough fiber. Can you guys take me through? The last thing I always like to talk about is protein intake as well. Even for women, men, 1 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight is what you need. A lot of people get way less. You don't really need way more. There's a lot of science about it, but you just want to think, hey, am I getting about a gram of protein per kilogram of my body weight? If you work out a lot and you're starting to eat healthy and you're starting to get yourself in a habit that's great, and you hang out with people who are only partying and drinking and going to the late night diners, what's going to happen? There's one of two things. Either they're going to start being like you, or you're going to start being like them. But if you spend all your time with those people, you are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Make one of those people somebody who's going to push you towards what you want. You are the product of your habits. I've said it over and over and over. You are the product of your habit. What does that mean is, if you want to get to a place, you got to create a habit to that. You're a slave to your habits. Where you are right now, whatever weight you are, whatever fitness level you are, however strong you are, however fast you are, however slow you are, whatever it is you are, is based on what you've been doing continually. You are a product of what you continually do. So if you want to become that, and we're talking right now about fitness, so I want to be in the best shape that I can be. I want to be in the best shape that I can be because I want to be able to do this, this, and this by this time, knowing that I'll know I can do that stuff because of this, this, and this, and that's what I want. Well, if you want that, you got to look and go, okay, well, what habits am I going to form to get that? And one of them is, every day you got to make a step towards that. Every day. I don't care if it's 10 steps, I don't care if it's 15, I don't care if it's a step like this, I don't care if it's a step like this. But every day, if you're not taking a step towards it, you're not creating a habit that's going to force you to get to your goal. Does that make sense?